Alright, welcome back everybody. Turn 40 of Roots, Bloody Roots. Doing some summoning. Had an assassination come after Chris Traeger. The assassination reminds me. I wanted to apologize deeply. I was trying to think of a name for another commander and I completely forgot about Donna, and that's horrible. I just want to apologize for that. Um, anyway, let's look at this assassination. So, um, Chris here, standing defenseless, no armor, no bodyguards, versus the usual crew. And he fires off a fireball, but he misses, and that will be the end of Chris. Because um, he's not going to get a third one. Although it is interesting to note that if that fireball wouldn't have hurt this layer because he's got tons of fire resistance. So that's just unfortunate. All right, battle in Solam. So here, rainmaking cast by no one. I don't get how that happened. They've got some Spine Devils. Oh, this is my province, that's right. And they're fighting my PD. This is my fort where it is raining. Just because I am there. So, this is a raiding force that Abyssia deployed wisely to cut off my recruitment in this fort for a turn. Um, so it's just something to fuck with me, basically. Um, I probably should learn my lesson and have a stronger patrolling force. I did want to check if these guys fly, and they do not. So the outcome is going to be that I am going to trap them. Like, they're going to take me out because all of my PD troops are bad. But I'm going to reclaim it and go from there. Going to that province, they don't have anyone else that's ready to attack me. Like, if I look at movement numbers, it's 22 movement points to this forest, or from this forest, it's 20 movement points. So, either way, their troops are not fast enough to just catch me while my pants are down, basically. So, I'm going to have my prophet break the siege, and I'll have some other guys kind of surround them, basically. Actually, yeah, let's have you go there. And maybe they'll retreat and attack this province. Maybe they won't. I don't know. They've got lots of choices. But with me having an Eagle Thug, that gives me lots of options to repel crap like this. I should make sure that Eagle Thug gives herself poison resistance. Oh, it's got meditation on the script, so we'll be good there. Continuing with messages, we've got a battle in Halbrathia. So here, Abyssia was trying to raid me some more, but there was a surprise guest, the Pawnee Action Committee. So, unfortunately, I did have this guy chilling when he was summoning Mist Warriors. That was a mistake. But regardless, these guys are tough, but they are not as tough as the Pawnee Action Committee. So she flies to the back and just starts getting to work on this demon bread. She's got her Ice Mist Scimitar, so that does this nice AoE fatigue effect. And now, with her having taken out the commanders, all these guys are routed. Some of these guys are fighting because they don't realize that they've lost yet. And I don't know what this swordsman is doing. Oh, he fell asleep. So that was up here, which meant that Abyssia had nowhere to run to. So I did lose that priest, but they lost those raiders. Um, then in Iron Range, this was them taking back a province that I raided. So the only reason to watch this battle would be to see if they bust out anything new. They did not bring gems to this battle. They've got a good number of lava warriors, so we can see what their reinforcement force looks like. No new magic in their script. So that was 47 lava warriors, plus I want to say they had 33 previously, so they'll have a total of 80, which is impressive, to be fair. Alright, battle in Letia, so this is me doing some raiding. Is there anything exciting here? We actually caught a decent number of troops in the area. But I think that my thug is just too much for them. So we'll go ahead and turbo until things get interesting. Because he's got 26 protection now, and regen, and resistance to damage. In the other corner, they have 19 damage attacks. And when they take a swing at them, they get locked down. And that applies to the Magma Children too. If they were using elementals, they wouldn't have to deal with that, I don't think. But it's your basic Vine Shield plus Brand rating, and it does what it's supposed to do. With the added bonus of Iron Skin, because these guys are good. Alright. Now, let's see if we can get the guys in the back. So he's running up in front. The Salamander has not routed yet, despite the fact that he's lost his army. So hopefully we can catch him. Yes. Good, good, good. So that was a wipeout minus some of these guys surviving, which I'm fine with. Like, these guys make solid raiders in a way, but yeah, I'm not worried about them. And I'm prepared to eat those words. So all in all, battle-wise, this is a pretty good turn. Events, some free gems from Mana from the Heavens, some more Mana from the Heavens gems, air gems, and Tammy is in the Hall of Fame. So he has extraordinary agility. Like to see that. So the big thing with this raiding game is that he's still not tough enough to take on 43 Sacreds. So I don't think that Abyssia will send a giant pack of Sacreds here. Maybe they will, but that's where I'm sending Tammy. If they confront me there, then... But, like, this is a relatively low-value province. They can't get there with these guys because there's mountains in the way. The other place I was considering sending him was here to Gilgad. But I'm guessing these guys are going to fight, and I don't know how many Lava Warriors he's got in this group. So this might be a mistake, but I'll try it. We've got troops moving around to basically surround the Spine Devils. I sent Pawnee Action Committee over to this province to prevent flying raids. I think I should actually just have her go to Solam. Alright. Anything else exciting? Ariu's joining the fight. Ariu boasts that they're going to do some elf raiding on several of these provinces, which at the moment is welcome. It slows Abyssia down, and I've still got several provinces that I've got my eye on that should be uncontested. If Aeryu takes too much of Abyssia, then I'll regret having brought them in. But I think that Aeryu can't really commit many forces because they're scared of Satis. So that geographical decision that Aeryu made about Satis is continuing to bite them. And I'm fine with that. Summoning a Naiad up here, so that'll give me some strong nature access. And looks like there's more raiding back and forth happening between Jotunheim and Nabah, which means no one's winning that war, which is good for me. Ryuga-Jo is besieging this province, which has way too little income. Like, I get that the scales are... There's a lot of death here, but 10 income? It must be a high unrest, I guess. Mercenaries. Let's look at my province. That's not my province. That's my province. I don't care about the Master Druid or any of these guys. Research. Still working on Construction 6, and then we're going to switch back to Conjuration. Our research speed has increased quite a bit, and once we hit Construction 6, we can start forging some lightless lanterns, and then we will be in business. Going up Conjuration, I believe, will also let us summon more goodies there. This guy, he can make some stuff, but I think I'm going to be putting these death gems to either summoning or trading to Satis for goodies. Yeah, Satis would want death gems, and they are not my immediate neighbor, so I think that would be a good choice. Right. So, I think, yeah, scouting. Looks like there was a fight here, but I didn't see it. Hurricane. Meh. So I'll just keep tabs on this situation. At some point, one of these guys is going to patrol me out, and I don't like that. But the fight will happen in one of these two provinces, and I want to watch the fight. So you will go... I guess you'll go here, you'll go to the throne, and we'll go from there. I continue to desperately need more scouts. I continue to not have a place to recruit them from. At some point, I'll see if I can sneak myself to this throne. I do like, however, the fact that that's not an alternate way for Abyssia to get to me. We'll see where things go there. Alright, I think that's everything for this turn. The other thing that I wanted to do was just kind of a reflection. Since this is turn 40, I want to think about big or small things I could have done differently. Overall, I'm happy with the amount of territory that I got initially. It could have been better, it could have been worse. I'm happy with my decision not to war anybody, because warring Jotunheim would have been a disaster against their sacreds. Warring Aeryu would have been suffering fighting versus the elves, and would have made my geography really nasty. Warring Abyssia, like, my matchup with Abyssia only gets better as the middle game goes on. Late game, they could summon a bunch of cool blood goodies, but I don't know where they're doing that. So I don't know where they're blood hunting is what I'm trying to say. Let's send you to this fort just to see if there's blood hunting going on there. But back to the retrospection. I think that I've gotten myself into a decent position. I think that I made the right calls geopolitically about who to fight or not fight and win. Tactically, I should have realized that Foul Vapors wouldn't do shit against Blood Bond and Regen. Foul Vapors is a powerful spell, but against that combination, it does too little damage, just gets regened away. You need high point damage, so I would have probably rushed either conjuration for elementals or um, or alteration, as I ended up doing, or the other thing I could have done would have been evocation, since it looks like those flaming meteors are pretty effective too. So it's ironic that flaming meteors or flaming anything works against Abyssia. Um, but so that's one other thing. The big thing that I would have done different is some relatively minor but important tweaks to my pretender. So I want to go ahead and show you those real quick. This would be a recommendation for anyone else considering trying this race, which is a lot of fun to play. So here you can see some of the other pretenders I've been messing around with. If in case you're curious, I Came here is a 3-part pretender. It's I Came, I Saw, I Conquered. So here's where we got with right now. Here's my comically short password. So Pawnee Action Committee has 4444, and I went with a lot of resistances, relying on the Sacreds to just be tough enough. Like, they've got 2 magic attacks and decent protection, decent attack defense skill, etc. So I thought basically that'd be enough. Let's put a lot of defense so they don't get countered. That was a mistake. These guys, like the Sacreds, are good and should be an important part of this nation's strategy, but they are just not quite killy enough on their own. So here's this small variation that I think is much more powerful. Since we've got the death scales, we can actually do poison weapons, and that's 5 armor negating damage that gets tacked on to the end of each of their attacks. So the poison weapons, like, is basically like a strength +5 earth bless. Not quite, because poison's delayed and because poison can be resisted, but I would say it's an upgrade. We still got minor poison resistant, which is all you need against foul vapors, because foul vapors does 5 damage. This gives 5 protection. I swapped out the fire resistance for attack skill and then just superior morale, because that's the only thing we can get with 1 fire. So that's the idea. There is that attack skill will make us hit more with the poison weapons, which in turn triggers blood surge. And the fire resistance is unnecessary. We have nature and water, and those are the 2 best paths. And we have fire, for that matter. Those are the 3 best paths for resisting fire. So why do I need to bother with fire resistance on my Sacreds when I can just do it with magic whenever it comes up? So that was my thinking there. And then I had previously, I think, major shock resistance and precision. Swap that out for swiftness and minor shock resistance. So swiftness gives extra defense, which is very welcome. Movement rate is nice. They're more likely to strike first in combat. That is quite powerful, because if they can basically run up to something, hit them super hard with 2 attacks of poison weapons before that thing returns fire, then that'll activate Blood Surge. So I think that this loadout is a lot more powerful, a lot more killy. I also made a small change. I previously had 2 order, 1 magic, or 2 order, 0 magic, sorry. I've moved one of the orders over to magic, and I might, if I were to play this again, move over another. The Sun Priests, which are primary researcher, have, I think, 9 native research, so bumping that up by 1 is 11% more research. In exchange for 3% less income, seems like a good trade. And the order was a non-bow with my luck scales, because I was getting fewer events. And you've seen me like whine about that from time to time, about, oh, I'm not getting enough events. Well, part of that is my own fault, because I had 2 order that was just preventing the frequency of those happening as much. So this is one alternate build that I would recommend over what I played this game. I'll show you another one. So this one is similar. It's using a Wuya rather than, I think the other one was a Katsunmana. Again, we've got the poison weapons. This particular Wuya does not have fire, instead having earth. So I gave him strength, and he doesn't have, like, these sacreds will not have the attack, but when they do hit, it'll hurt a lot more. Similarly, we have water rather than air, which I definitely think is a downgrade. We already have lots of access to water, whereas we did not have, like, we only had air 1 previously. But this nation does get +1 water bless point, so I grabbed some defense skill and then picked up something random with the other water points. In this case, it could be water walking, could be cold resistance, whatever floats your boat. Pun intended. The Wuya is a better Super Commander Expander chassis for the early game. He's bigger and has more HP, so you don't have to be as careful with him. Although, truth be told, both of them are fine. The Earth magic also makes it a little easier to make safe decisions there, because he can go and stone skin himself and iron skin and stuff like that. But again, that's a more minor consideration, I would say. This build costs more points, so as opposed to having 1 order and 1 magic, I had to choose. So I ended up going with the magic in this sample pretender, but could play around with it. I don't like this one as much as the Katsunmana. It doesn't have awe, it doesn't have flying, and both of those are things I very much like. The magic paths, I consider the water and earth to be weaker on this nation than the air and fire. Air 4 means you can make air boosters. Fire 4 means you can make fire boosters. This guy doesn't really unlock boosters I wouldn't have normally had besides the Bloodstone. Air plus blood on the Katsunmana means that it can also make Robe of the Magi, which is just completely off the table for this guy. But don't get me wrong, this guy is still a solid pretender, and the different combinations of cross paths that you have here give you some different options. He's fun to play with. So that's all I have to say about this turn right now. I've been enjoying this game quite a bit. I think I'm in a decent position. I think that Tianchi or Airyu are probably in the strongest positions, but I can make a fight of it, and I'll continue to do so, and I'll see you on turn 41.